Welcome to our 5 on 5. Please be joined today by Christina Kruger, the Regional Business Manager for Pacific Power. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So a lot of talk about how you guys are planning to make sure everybody's safe during fire season, talking about a lot of different things. You guys are still developing this. What are you guys looking at?
We are still developing it. So just like all of our community, we've noticed that the wildfires are increasing with intensity and frequency in our region. And for us, our absolute highest priority is making sure that our customers are safe. So we're looking at our existing plans and we're expanding on those and adopting additional measures to continue to provide quality, reliable power, but also adding an extra safety measure for our customers.
Mm-hmm. And certainly, I have to ask, we saw with PG&E, I guess now is being held responsible for the Camp Fire in the Paradise area. With starting that, obviously you guys are a power company as well. Is that kind of the concern? Is you want to make sure, I don't know if it's technical stuff, but is it make sure that these lines don't arc, for lack of a better phrase? Or obviously with vegetation being as dry as it gets in summer, we're just trying to prevent another disaster.
Sure, we absolutely are trying to prevent any type of disaster. We are adopting and expanding a comprehensive plan that, of course, includes lessons learned from what's happening in Northern California and Southern California, but really it's more expansive than, I think, just looking at something like shutting off the power. We're going out, we're clearing vegetation, we're being even more kind of aggressive about doing that. We're doing that throughout the state. We're also putting in weather stations, and we're training up our employees to make sure that they feel more adequately prepared and giving them more equipment, as well as then adopting a power safety or public safety power shutoff.
Sure, yeah, it's a tough one. No worries, I can certainly appreciate that. So you're talking about the lines. Do you have any idea how many lines you have, Pacific Power has in Southern Oregon? I would imagine it's hundreds upon thousands of miles.
It's thousands and thousands of miles.
It's a lot of vegetation. I can't imagine you'd be expected to clear the vegetation around all of it.
Frankly, I think it's a bit of a group effort, but we are hiring extra people to come help us do that, and it's an ongoing process. The work will never end, frankly. We live in a lush, rich environment, and so there's always going to be growth, but the measures that would cause us to kind of employ this last minute would be extreme weather conditions as well. So it's not just the plants, it's an entire story around what we would need to do to take that action.
Yeah, and as you said, you're still developing these plans.
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Much more in just a moment. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Christina Kruger, the Regional Business Manager for Pacific Power. So Pacific Power is meeting with the Public Utilities Commission tomorrow. You've been meeting with local governments. Is that really all about this kind of mitigation plan to reduce wildfire risk and make sure that everybody's safe? It is.
It's about our larger plan and then kind of running through what the various aspects of that look like. We're going to be presenting to the Public Community or Utility Commission, and then that information will be available to the public. And then we'll go into greater detail as the plan starts to solidify.
Okay, and I imagine this is something that would come together pretty quickly because we are already in the middle of fire season.
Yeah, we do feel like we're moving pretty quickly, but that said, the level of engagement by our local partners, such as emergency services and the counties, has been really fruitful and helpful in making sure that we have something that's going to be a better outcome for our customers.
Okay, and obviously the part that I think the public seems to be paying most attention to is the fact that power could be shut off if there's a risk of starting fires from possibly one of these lines. How do you guys decide? I know we're talking hypotheticals here, but how do you guys decide when that situation is warranted?
Sure. So the power shutoffs really would be a last resort. I mean, we're doing everything we can up front of that to make sure that we don't have to do that. But if we were to be in a situation where we felt there was an increased risk or threat, it would have to be a situation where there's extreme weather and there's risk of debris, for example, getting into the lines and causing some arcing. So that's what we're trying to that's what we're really trying to mitigate, and that's what we're making sure that we're kind of being proactive about.
Okay, and would warnings be given? I mean, whether it's an automated dial on the home phone or the cell phone, text, emails.
Yes, absolutely.
Would people be notified?
Absolutely. So in the next few weeks, you're going to see that we're going to be sharing what our communication plan will be, but that will be all of the above. That will be everything from television ads to text messages, direct calls, as well as print ads and some other things. And then in the case of an event or what we perceive might be an event, we'll beef that up even more. We don't want to leave anyone behind.
Okay, and I'm curious, like, when you think of a map, are you shutting down just one particular area where there's that high risk, or is, I mean, obviously it depends on how much risk there is,
Sure.
but could it be just one small pocket of a couple neighborhoods here or there, or is it kind of an all or nothing
That's
thing with the
actually
side
the
of the city?
So our goal is to get as surgical as possible.
Right.
And so that's why we say that this plan is actually going to be kind of a living document, as it were, because the more surgical we get, the more equipment we can put in to kind of reroute power and what have you, the less people that would be impacted. So we're not planning on turning off huge swaths of communities in any way, shape, or form, but there are some areas that are going to be of higher risk during certain conditions, and that's where we need to really keep an eye and have that extra, ability in our back pocket.
Okay, and the length of the outage, if you will,
Sure.
would depend on the risk?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
We have pulled some historical data, and we found that actually it'd be very infrequent.
Okay, all right, good to see you. Thanks
Good
for
to
breaking
see
it
you.
down for us. Obviously,
Thank you.
much more to come.
Yes.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.